All right, guys, thank you so
Yo,
much for tapping in. We are Primal Sutra, Guided Primal Sutra podcast. I'm Uncle Makara, all relations. We got Ryan G over there.
what's
And
up?
today we're talking about the idea of shiny object syndrome.
Mm.
Whatever glitters is not always gold, right? So
Yeah,
we
sometimes
gotta
it's just glitter.
sometimes it's just glitter, right?
Mm.
Facts. So I think with this topic right now, what's really interesting is one of our adepts was pointing out that, how hip hop culture is changing towards more like materiality, but now it's people are realizing it and they're like coming back to their spiritual origin points. So, what do you think about shiny object syndrome? Have you ever gotten afflicted with that, or have you ever experienced that in your past?
Plenty.
Hmm.
I remember when Alibaba and AliExpress was a thing, right? Later it
Yeah,
got replaced more by Temu and Sh Scene or Shine or whatever it's called.
yeah,
And I remember just buying up probably fake stones, cheap clothes, whatever.
yeah,
And at some point, I didn't have much room left in my, and that has been a
right,
consequence of this shiny object syndrome. Another aspect can also be from having too many teachers,
mm,
something can
mm,
having conflicting ideologies and teachings, even though they're
right,
both valid within their
right,
context.
right. Yeah, totally.
Mm,
That's another aspect of shiny object syndrome. Yeah, so it can come through many different ways, you're saying, and that's very true. I
yeah,
remember back in when I was in London and my doing my master's, I used to over purchase clothing, and at one point I emptied my bank account.
really,
Yeah, I went to that extent, and then I had to call my parents and like have them transfer me some money, and it was quite embarrassing. I felt like I had an issue. I had a problem of hoarding. And
okay.
the clothes made, I feel like back then the clothes made me feel like I had some status, like I had some semblance of I was really into the fake it till you make it back then in a certain
Mm,
sense. So I think it was kind of posturing myself that okay, I'm rich, I'm this leader. And everybody in the UK also has very good fashion sense. It's like it's so different that I had to almost work towards fitting into that. So yeah, but I kind of realized that that was splurging.
mm,
And then I slowly started to find myself back into really, spending money on things that are gonna last for a long time and not like quick things, like memories that last forever, right? Like if you do something and that creates an epic memory for you, that's not a shiny object. That's like a maintenance. It's like Vishnu's energy. It's like a preserver mode, right?
right.
Instead of like a quick bling that you buy and you just spend your all your paycheck on it or something, you know? Um, Instead, I think it's good to dream, but it's also good to function and be
Mm,
functional as a human being. What do you think about that, Ryan?
mm. It reminds me of that whole Bruce Lee quote, use what works, discard what doesn't. At some point, you will be confronted with that, whether you like it or not.
Yeah.
That's why at
Hmm.
some point I had to, confront my own credit card. Like, okay, I'm overspending somewhere.
Mm.
What's happening? Is it justified? And if it's justified, are there cheaper alternatives with similar quality and such? But you must be willing to do the work and actually do it.
Yeah. Hey there, Ellie. Yeah, I think also it's like what really comes up for me is that when we're going through shiny object syndrome, it's really like our relationship to what that object means to us, right? And it's the meaning we ascribe to it. So let's say that somebody is obsessed with um some brand, right? And that brand will make them part of the community, and then that community will make them part of their identity. and that identity will make them part of a bigger like game plan in their life, right? And so they're
Right.
buying that thing. It's like no one cares that you have that watch, but people really obsessed with watches will recognize that watch in a certain sense. So it's like I think it's all about like identification and like attachment and like clinging to things. That's what shiny object syndrome is.
Well, there's also the reverse, right? Because shiny object syndrome is, in my opinion, a toxic form of pattern recognition, almost pattern addiction. You see
Yeah,
a
yeah.
pattern and you can't seem to get out of that loop. But
Mm,
what about a
mm,
more positive version of that? You see something shiny, and you make a judgment call from a neutral position to see whether it fits you, yes or no. You know,
yeah.
I bet if you eat enough ginger, you'll die. How many gingers would it take? I don't know, but I can imagine chew
Yeah,
enough,
there's that one
man.
guy on Instagram, right, that overdoes the ginger stuff. I
There
get what
has
you
to
mean.
be. There
Yeah.
has to be, bro. I mean, it's perfectly edible, but I wouldn't do it.
Do you think that like laziness is a disguised doubt? I know this is kind of outside of the topic, but do you think that work ethic, um, like certainty generates more work ethic, right? Because it feels complete or whole. It's not from survival. So if you're in that survival-based state, you're gonna cling to the shiny object more.
I see what you mean, but the way I see it is a combination of things. One, in that case, the shiny object is the escapism that you require to cope given the situation and the stress that you have.
Yeah.
Two, I believe I sent you this morning, I believe on the way to work, it would have been like 2-ish p.m. your time.
Okay.
Like an Instagram reel on a similar subject because what is the ultimate form of an insecure man, let's say, right?
Mm,
You can have someone who's willing to do the absolute work, but still lives in fear that the moment he stops, then everything that he's worked for is gone.
mm,
You cannot
yeah.
build a house on sand.
True.
So
True
if
that.
so what if it's not that someone is lazy. It is
Yeah.
more so what is his relationships with those types of emotions, with types of thoughts, etc. And then from there we can get an understanding. But merely an understanding is never enough because insight does not equal action.
Right.
Are you still willing to pay your due diligence? Because what if the laziness that you experience
Mm,
might not be laziness at all? It might be you needing rest and you're guilt tripping
yeah.
yourself into believing some bullshit.
Yeah, it's
You
energy
know,
mismanagement or
it
something.
is
Yeah.
energy mismanagement. It's also relationship mismanagement with the teams and the topics. It might even be a trauma response.
Yeah.
I mean, look at me, right? I never wanted to have a luxurious car until I got a luxurious car, felt absolutely guilty about having it, and now it's the most normal thing in the world to me because
Yeah.
my nervous system has gotten used
As
to it.
relaxed to it. Yeah.
Right. And
Totally.
it all comes back to what if the laziness that someone experiences is your body's attempt to force you to take a break. And what if, I'm just speculating, what if back in the day, just laying around in the grass field, the so-called boredom was the antidote to a burnout? It
Yeah.
is because what do we do in the modern world? And I'm ranting, I know, but what do we do in the modern world? We don't fucking go out. At least definitely not in the IT departments.
Yeah.
Definitely not in the IT departments. So what do you do then, Sumit?
Mm, yeah.
Because I am willing to bet real money that the shiny object syndrome has a lot to do with the fact that we've gotten all these options, and all these options are doing nothing but
Yeah.
distract us, make us sick, or the combination of all three, or two, I mean.
Yeah, and I actually think it's opposite towards committing to something, right? Because shiny object syndrome creates this kind of identity instability. type of thing, right? Where you feel like once I have the new system, I move to a new city, once I move,
Yeah.
have better aesthetics, then I will finally become the visionary or something like that. So it's like it's kind of a a weird cop out. And mastery is boring, it's depth, it's boring, it's
It's
repetition.
monotone as fuck.
Yeah, it's not like the fact that you go to the gym that makes you attractive. It's the fact that you push through and like you have the effervescence of, doing the things that you did and your aura afterwards that matters. It's like, so I think shiny object isn't the problem. It's your nervous system is addicted to novelty, and then novelty feels like
Yeah,
progress.
yeah. But that's not what it is. Progress isn't a singular picture.
Right.
Progress isn't just speed. Progress can be slow as fuck. Progress can be anything. But progress is a daily thing, minute by minute thing. I mean, you've seen how far we've come with the work that we've done.
Yeah,
Progress
because
wasn't
we're
built in one day.
I feel like we've come far because we're refiners, you know what I mean? We take one concept and we go all the way into it
Oh, for
to such
sure.
depth. And I think for a lot of people it's like they pivot every month, right? Now we change themes every month. Well, I think you know who I'm talking about, one of our mentors. But yeah,
Not going to go into that.
yeah.
Continue.
But irregardless, I mean, you don't have to expand into like 12 channels. You can sharpen one blade and just do that thing that you're passionate about really well.
Okay,
Like what did Bruce
I
Lee
have a
say?
fun
Like thousand
suggestion.
kicks or whatever. Yeah.
Well, sure, sure. Bruce said a lot of things. You're referring to I do not fear the man who knows 1,000 kicks, but I fear the man who's done one kick 1,000 times, which is
Thousand
true.
times. Right.
Which is true. Which is very true. But there's also another aspect, and I kind of lost the train of thought for a second. We were
Mm.
talking about
Like
right.
being one blade. We like not
Ah, yes.
splitting yourself too thin and yeah.
There's if I remember correctly, Bruce Lee said there is the martial art is the martial art, but the martial art is also the human arts because
Yeah.
you're still with the human body. I don't know if you heard
Mm.
that.
Yeah, I did. What was that?
I don't know, man. I'm on an industrial complex. It just bound to be a crash somewhere. So everybody's looking like, what the fuck happened? Anyway,
Mm.
it is the human art, which means the patterns that exist within me exist within you, which it exists within us. So if someone is reliant or over reliant on a certain pattern,
Mm.
I can have it too.
Yeah. It's like most people are just trying to throw something at the wall and hoping that it sticks, right? It's
Ah,
like
right. We're
almost
talking
there,
about the
about to launch. Next month is the real one. But it's like you have to refine your throw after a certain point. You know what I mean? It's like to pick one spear. And I
right.
think scattered energy creates more noise, whereas the depth creates more magnetism. And I think
That makes
from
sense.
you following, siren type path and what with your Shakti and like just being a deep mage in general. But
Hmm. I make so, it is not the time to make so many jokes. I'm trying to focus on the podcast. Damn you. Anyway.
but yeah,
Uh,
it's like we don't lack talent. We lack commitment. We lack devotion towards specific craft.
talent is God-given.
Yeah,
Talent
for
is
sure.
God-given, bro. Talent is God-given. But ultimately, the one who works hard in a structured manner and is willing to learn how to be smarter in the ways of the greats will ultimately succeed. I mean,
Yeah.
Jesus. Um, look at my grappling. I mean, I might be crazy injured right now. I don't feel a lot of pain. I just need to be careful of my back.
Mm.
If I catch you in a leg lock, the fight's gonna be over real quick. But how long has it not taken me to get there to figure out what
Mm.
my style is?
Mm.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
and then I'm being confronted by the fact that my foundation isn't as solid as I thought it was. So what do? I leave the leg locks alone and I focus on my foundation. Big shout out to
Yeah.
Coach Christian. And I believe practicing the esoteric is the same. You cannot forget your foundational skills. It goes back to the meditation, it goes back to the journaling, it goes back to all the boring stuff that I despise.
Right.
I mean, granted, I enjoy shadow work a lot because I can do it instantly.
Mm.
It's just in the moment, I don't have to write anything down. I just do the exercise real time while the event is happening, and it's fine. And you can do that too at
Mm.
Primal Sutra. But that's not the point. The point is, it's your relationship to the pattern that dictates how you tend to respond. I
Yeah.
refuse to be a slave to these patterns. So the moment
Yeah.
I sense the pattern, also known as a trigger, hey, shiny object, I become aware of it. And then
Right.
I must choose what I do or not. And then over time, I can rely on myself and not even have to think like, oh, I don't need it anymore. Like when I did like a 90-day sugar fast or anti-sugar fast or no sugar fast, I should say, for competitions.
Okay,
Okay.
we broke up because of the Wi-Fi, so you have to repeat that, I think.
What did I say again? What did I, now I need to track, let me see. The point I'm trying to
Track
make,
back, yeah.
the point I'm trying to make, or try to make, I have no idea where I stopped. Um, was everything requires that consistency. The body you have today is built on all the things you've done before. So if you have a shitty diet, isn't any wonder you don't have abs, or
Right.
etc. Or if you don't plank, you don't have a great core, etc. If you don't do those animalistic movements, isn't any wonder
Mm.
you're so stiff, etc.
Mm.
etc. etc. So everything
Mm.
builds on top of each other. So then, what if the shiny object syndrome is then building up upon other triggers that you're not even aware of?
Right.
Which all
Totally.
comes back to how do you relate to yourself?
Yeah, could it be a trauma response to cling for the shiny object? That's true.
I mean,
Like,
granted, if I see something shiny, of course I'm gonna look. But it's
right.
then whether I give into the impulse that makes all the difference. I am
Mm.
allowed to observe. I'm allowed, stop it. I'm allowed to observe and I'm allowed to be aware of it. And it's kind of the same thing I did when I was trying to get over a porn addiction, right? Every time I had a rule, every time I felt the urge, I would take a walk, remove myself from
Mm.
the vicinity of the addiction,
Where the trigger happens, or
where the
yeah, that
trigger happens.
location. Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then it became exposure therapy. Like, can I, get aroused and merely observe the impulse
Mm.
and then allow my nervous system to go, okay, everything is fine. I
Mm.
don't need it. And
Mm.
that somehow ended up me being celibate for what, 1 year, 4 months? Fuck, time
Mm.
goes fast.
Mm.
But anyway,
Brahmacharya. Yeah,
yeah,
man. Oh, we have Guido. Nice, man. I'm on day 4 of my fast. I just made good money on the misfortune of my adversaries. Amazing day for me. Well, great, man. I
fair
mean,
enough.
but yeah, just be careful that you don't like it doesn't become like a karma superstition thing or whatever. Like if your dopamine spike comes from they lost, then your subconscious will keep needing adversaries to feel alive in a certain sense. So you won because you executed, brother, period.
Yeah,
Not because they
period.
suffered. You know what I
Hey,
mean? But
as they
I
say, it's a
get you
skill
though. I
issue.
get you. It's an ego boost. It's like, ooh, yeah.
Naturally, naturally.
Yeah.
But it does
Add
remind
add
me of
electrolytes, by the way, if you're not already for the fasting. Stay hydrated. Yeah.
stay hydrated. Let's see, we have 5 more minutes.
Yeah, he says
Th-
something else. Stock market going crazy good. Political unrest for my oppositions and fasting to conclude after the blood moon at 3:33 a.m. What is it with this 3:33, bro? What the
because it's
fuck?
like the third month. the day of the third month.
I see, I see, I
Where
see.
we're
Okay.
not gonna
Because
talk
Ryan
about
had
it.
that similar, yeah,
I had a
okay.
similar talk. We're gonna do something else. Let's keep it at
Yeah,
that. The
yeah,
information that I wanted to share is for depths only. That being said, let's continue seeing how we have 5 more minutes.
yeah.
I have a hunch that after the blood moon, the nexus will reveal where we're headed next, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I've
Well, one thing I just want to tell Guido is just stay sharp, hydrate. Don't overtrade, don't escalate risk just because it feels aligned right now. Uh, True alignment is really calm. It doesn't feel like this big event that took place, you know? So,
It doesn't feel like a chase. It just feels like, when you're entering flow state, this is what it
yeah.
is. It just works. It
Yeah.
just works. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, break the fast with intention as well. Yeah.
Oh, and if well, Guido probably knows how to break his fast, but those who want to do fast, if you're gonna break it, I recommend a combination of a bit of olive oil, at least half an avocado and some
Mm,
salt naturally, and consume that first to ease the stomach. Like really ease because your stomach's pH is gonna be through the roof. And you don't want
mm,
to damage the stomach lining, etc. It's gonna overcomplicate things. But when I did like a 3 day fast, I remember being able to smell the bakery being outside and just it was just destroying. But
yeah.
anyway, the point is, being an adult, at the end of the day, you are responsible for your life, and we can't force you to do anything.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna do anything, be smart about it. Do your research, do your due diligence, whatever
Hmm.
it may be.
Right.
And if you need rifles to function, to be
Mm,
successful, uh, get the right kind of rifles. It's that simple. If that's the way you have to operate, then be my guest. It's not my style, but so be it. Create controlled opposition, so be it. The government
mhm.
is doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Might as well make
I,
it part of your lifestyle.
I always say the opinion is the opposite trying to put a pin on you. Like they're trying to conclude something about you, whereas you're unconcludable. You know what I mean? So,
Interesting.
yeah.
Interesting. So if 3 more minutes, anything I would like to say is again, every Monday and Wednesday we have free and semi-free events, which means invites, whatever, around 4 p.m. CET. So Amsterdam time, we have this podcast, and Wednesday we have the channeling. If you follow us actively on Telegram, on YouTube, or wherever you're seeing this, and
Yeah.
you still haven't joined Telegram, you still haven't joined any channelings and any healing sessions and any workshops, we've been doing this for 4 years. We're now entering our
Facts.
fifth year. We're going to be celebrating our fifth year jubilee, or jubilee, or however you say it in English, this year, probably when you do the annual event. And most people don't even make it to the annual event and miss out on a lot of healing, downloads, and more importantly, adventure. So if you don't want to miss out on these things, you don't want to miss out on the healing, you don't want to miss out on finding out what deities back you, maybe some past life stuff, maybe finding out where your definition scales lie naturally. Maybe because that's how I found I have a natural inclination for shadow work, so much so that it's ridiculously easy for me, and I can now, and I know I'm feeling a little bit too much about me, that I can now manipulate the shadows of others. That is my given
Mhm.
gift. That's a gift that I have developed over
Yeah.
time. And if it wasn't for, even though I am one of the co-founders of Primal Sutra, if it wasn't for the work that I've done with Sumit and the rest of Primal Sutra, which includes the Nexus, also known as the Primal Sutra family of deities, etc., then I would not have reached this level. A matter of fact, if it wasn't for Primal Sutra and the work that we've done from it, I don't think I would have been able to heal my mother and father from the things that plagued them in the background. And that peace that
Yeah.
we've managed to give our parents, our students, and their loved ones has been worth more than the money that they've invested in and we've received. Way more. So if
Facts.
you want to
Yeah.
be part of this group, this collectivist movement, join while you can because we don't know when we'll stop. Because Primal Sutra at some point is going to live a life of its own. At
Yeah.
some point, we need to, you know, let someone else inherit this project and let someone else inherit this business. And we need to focus on politics. We need to go focus on creating other businesses, etc. This for us is our playground, our learning ground in order to evolve into the masters that we know we can be. I mean, 2 weeks ago or a week ago, I was reading a manga and where you had a young kid and a old warrior is on his knees begging for forgiveness or something. And then I
Yeah.
shared it to you with you, and the clear message was clear to you, but not to me just yet, where my ancestors or whatever lineages, let's assume all of them, are asking me or requesting me to climb a very steep mountain. In other
Yeah.
words, within the three realms of health, wealth, and relationships, I must become, in my own way, the absolute master. And that requires a lot.
Diligence, focus. Yeah, a lot of things for sure.
That can only mean that I'm going to have to look within myself and outside of myself and start getting rid of things that just don't add up anymore. I
Yeah.
don't have time for some people anymore. It's just if this is the mission, and I might die in 40, 50 years. That's not a lot of time.
Mm,
And that's why if you who are listening to this podcast episode still think you have time,
mm.
be my guest, I think so. That's my message. Anything else you would like to say?
No, man, I think that's a good place to end. I think this was a powerful ending, and if people are very interested, you can always find out more on primalsutramysteryschool.com.
So
Take
be
care,
it.
guys. Peace. Upward Spiral Gang.